Well, I'm Stephen Graff. I manage Abbey Carpets here, Abbey Whole Home, Abbey Carpets. I've been in the flooring business for carry the two pretty much my entire life. So it's nothing new to the only new thing are the products changing. The industry hasn't really changed much. But the products changed, and the faces changed. That's pretty much it. But the industry itself is still the same. It's really weird. The trends of what, like busy seasons and like what people really want and everything like that. It's pretty close to what it was when I first started. When I mean things have been the same, yeah, I just mean like it's. People need us to put floors are always going to be needed.
Yeah.
And what you match your flooring to everything else in your home, or vice versa. Like the flooring is like the fifth wall of your house, is like some people have said, and so you kind of match the floor up, and so that's what really hasn't changed. But trends have changed. As far as like what's more popular and colors have changed and stuff like that. And those are always going to change. And, what's like, we saw in the industry like a dozen or so years ago, grays started to like heavily, like everything went gray. So whether it was hardwood, whether it was carpeting, whether it was, tile, everything just lent towards gray. And then you're starting to see now it leaning away from that, and people are moving to, and I'm sure you've maybe heard the color grayish. That's something that's like really changed, is just the colors, and that'll change with seasons. It's how people feel today. And it was like back when I first started, semi-gloss and hardwoods was a big thing. Like everybody wanted that shine on a hardwood floor. They wanted that, they wanted to kind of like pop. And now it's like, no, I want matte. Just like on a car, same thing. You see a lot more matte finishes on cars now. It's similar. It's just tastes. And that's going to go away. People are going to stop wanting that on their car.
Yeah.
Just like they're going to stop wanting to have a matte finish on their floor. They're going to want to have something shine again. That's the one thing that always changes, and just trying to stay up with what colors, really, and what's popular to people. That's the only real like work that I really have to stay in tune with. But the industry itself as a whole, it hasn't really changed. And I think adding this element to it is a good change, because no one is really doing anything like this. It's all about consistency though. Like if you can do it one way, do it right, be consistent with it.
Yeah.
My initial thought was the allowance of growth, and we had it in a little clip we put up before, and I was excited about that, because in this industry there are a lot of old heads, and there are a lot of people that do these things the same way, the same thing every single day, and they don't change. So that's why the industry really hasn't changed. It's not that people's tastes haven't changed, because they do, of course, but it's all the people that have been in it for too long. They won't change. They don't want to bend. It's like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks type of thing, and it's like, so that, yeah, that's true, but those people aren't going to be around forever. And so like a person like you is going to come to me someday with completely different tastes. And it's about me being malleable. We were just having a random discussion about like the way we operate as a business. And I've always had an idea. It's a consistency of operation in the way you do things. That's fine. But then also being able to adapt.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is cool. To have someone tell you, that they're willing to work with you, and then they'll take your ideas and then they'll implement them if they're good and successful, versus having someone that's like, no, this is the way we do things. I don't want to hear anything from you. Just sit down, shut up, and whether you're successful or not doesn't matter, because I know what I'm doing, and that's not what somebody wants to hear. That's not how things move forward.
No, yeah.
And then so like I was stoked. I was really excited, and that's why I was just like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I guess now that you've been here for, it's been 3 months now, a little bit over 3 months.
Yeah.
Say what headwinds and tailwinds have you experienced? Just
it's great to start with a new company in the slow time of the flooring business. And when I was with my last company, like it got to the point where it was like there wasn't that allowance to like be the people pleaser that I was, and it got down to it got down to just making me. It just made me miserable. It just made me utterly miserable, you know, and I didn't love it the same way that I do again. Mm-hmm. And when Kevin just says, here, no, you know what you're doing. You do this, you do that. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, let's go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the best thing to hear when I came here was because I will acknowledge as myself as well, like, hey, I will tell you, I know what I don't know. Yeah. And I have no problem saying that. You know, if it's something technical that I don't know, I have no problem because I'd rather learn. And that's what I liked about Kevin was like, he came in and he was like, no, tell me what you know or you would do with this. That's refreshing because then you don't have someone that's stuck in their way, and their way could be wrong. My way could be wrong. Yeah. I could be doing it wrong the whole time, but there's not going to be any progression. Yeah. If you're not like willing to adapt.
Mm-hmm. I think particularly just because it aligns with a lot of Kevin's ethos as well with how he manages his other companies.
Right.
Very much service oriented, like dedicated staff, just offering additional support whenever.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I went and dropped off an area rug at someone's doorstep the other day. I don't have to do that. Yeah. I went and dropped off an area rug at the doorstep just because I want that person to be happy with our company. Yeah. And that's stuff I've always done. And it's not like there's a huge monetary like gain on my part. Yeah. No, it's just I would rather her not tell her friends that damn Abbey carpets, they made me come pick up my rug in the rain, and all this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, look I got you. I will deliver it to your front door. Yeah. And I did. Good things will come to you if you do right by people and you do things the right way. Yeah. And that's the way it has to be. And there's not a lot of people that are willing to like actually heed those words. Mm-hmm. I started like as a helper with my dad back, when I was, like 6-7 years old. And I just paid attention. And it would be a lot of the times just, wanting to spend time with dad. Yeah. And it wouldn't be like, and I remember, and man, I can hold this against my dad still to this day. I was like 10 years old making like $20 a day working with him. And I'm like, man, this $20, man, like I can buy like a toy, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I had no idea. And I remember when I got a raise to $25 a day, I was like, oh my gosh, this $25 a day. Yeah. But it really taught me like the sense of like, it taught me a sense of also like to value like hard work and everything like that. But then I was really just paying attention to everything he was doing. And it was, again, just because I wanted to spend time with my dad, Yeah. And so I took that, and then it got to the point where my dad was just like, well, I don't need to be around you while you're doing the work anymore. And then he would just drop me off on jobs. And I just started installing by myself. I'm like 16 years old installing floors. Yeah. And there were people, my dad would drop me off at houses before I even had a driver's license with tools, everything. Because we had, my father had several crews that he was running. And so I would be one of the crews. And so and then there were times where I was managing at 16, 17 years old, I was managing crews of like 10 people, when these guys are in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, and I'm managing these crews, and they're like, who the hell is this kid managing? But then they would talk to me, and they'd be like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. And it got to be the point where, like, well, you know, but I would never talk to anyone like I knew more than them. I would just, like, I like to share knowledge, like, but I'm also a curious person too. So if someone knew something better than I did, then I want to know. Yeah. Because if it's a faster way or if it's a easier way, and he would show me all these really cool ways on how to do things. He didn't want me just installing, like, you know, regular flooring. He wanted me to like, oh, hey, if you angle this or make a diamond pattern or herringbone or log cabin pattern and all that stuff. He taught me all that stuff, like, to do with hardwoods and, you know, and then, like, custom, like, four-bow installations, marmoleum installations, and like all those things, like pattern pieces. Like, so I'm doing that stuff as a young kid. So that still gets me going when I can do it again. So if I get the opportunity, I'll take it. Just because it's something being built. So, I don't even know if I answered your question at all. I got in a car accident when I got in a car accident in my late 20s, like, really bad. Like, I blew out discs in my neck. I messed up my back really badly. And, like, it was, like, to the point where they're like, you're going to need surgery. And they said to me, you can't lay floors anymore, like, as a career. And to me, that was it was shitty. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, there's no other way around it. And because I liked laying floors for myself, and there's freedom in it. You know, I wasn't beholden to anyone, and I could just roll and just, you know, I build something every day, right? Yeah. And being told you can't do what you've done your whole life, you're just like, wait, well, what am I going to do? And there was a person that my father knew who had been trying to get a hold of me, but I wouldn't pick up his calls, just because I was like, I didn't want a boss. Yeah. You know, I was always that guy. Like, I don't want a boss. Yeah. That's stupid. I'm my own boss. You know what I mean? And he was trying to get a hold of me. And finally, he calls my dad and he goes, tell your son to pick up his damn phone and call me back because I have an opportunity for him. And my dad told him, he goes, he's not going to want to work for anyone, you know? And after I got, like, out of the friggin' orthopedics office, like, and he says, you can't do this anymore, I called the guy back. And then that's how I ended up in sales. Oh, okay. Like, it was like, okay, well, I guess my options are limited. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately that's actually what's helped me in sales, is just having that general knowledge. So I can be really technical with people, being able to explain that to them simply, like, well, there needs to be overage. Well, why 100 square feet over? You know? And I'm like, well, because you have a lot of angled cuts and everything in your house. So that is why there would be more waste in your home versus a home that is just a box. You know, yeah. And so there are things like that it's easier to explain, where a lot of people that are in the sales that might hem and haw at. But being able to answer every one of those questions correctly, and that's an important thing, because a lot of people can tell you an answer. Yeah. That's another thing too, because there are a lot of people that'll tell you what they think it is, but is it right? You won't know sometimes, and sometimes you'll do some research and you'll be like, wait, that was not true at all. Yeah. You know. So, but being able to answer it correctly and then get technical with it if they really want you to be technical, it's helped me immensely. A lot of people out there that, you know, they really know their stuff and they've forgotten more about the industry than most people will ever know. And I don't want to say I'm there yet, because I'm still learning. That's what I like about it. Like, and that's why here, like, I'm still learning different ways to do things. Yeah. There's a lot I know about it, and I'm not surprised by anything in the industry, but I'm still learning, and I'm willing to learn. Like, I'm always willing to learn. I'm willing to move forward, and that's how everybody should. If you quit wanting to adapt and learn and better yourself.
I'm curious, what are your thoughts now, though, as obviously we're kind of evolving to a more, you know, technological oriented world, where I think it's especially hard to sell carpet online than it is to go to a showroom. I think like if you go to a showroom, it's
It's a tactile business, yeah.
It's a tactile, like it's literally a floor.
Right.
You know the material.
I mean, like DoorDash, you can sell McDonald's through DoorDash because you already know what a French fry tastes like. You know what I mean? And so, but you don't know how the carpet feels.
How this new carpet.
How this new carpet feels, type of thing. And so, like that's it is that. So, and there are people. It's funny you say this. So I have a scenario. This was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I had a customer, and she and I still text her husband. He texts me every now and again, because we'll meet up for drinks every now and again in Alameda, and they still text me to this day because she looked at a product online, a wood product, and she had never seen it in person. Yeah. And I said, don't do that. And she goes, no, I really want this, and I want the job done right away. And I said, don't do that. And I'm like, it's a 2,700 square foot home, and you want to put this hardwood. You want to put all this wood in your house, sight unseen. I said, don't do that. And she goes, well, I don't have time to come down. And I said, I will go to your house and drop off samples. I said, don't play that game. No, just order the material. And I go, no. I said, I just told her no. Yeah. Because I don't want you to see me 2 weeks later and be like this. You know what I mean? Yeah. This dude, like, and she was giggling about it with me. She goes, no, I think I'm gonna be. And I go, absolutely not. I said, I am not taking that on. And I went and dropped off samples and of the color she wanted, but the color I dropped off 2 samples. The color she asked for me to order. And then I dropped off the color I had a feeling she would go for. Right? Yeah. And so I did it just like that. I said, here's what you wanted to order. Here's what I think is what you were looking for. And she goes, holy shit. She goes, please order the one you thought I would like. Like, I'm not even joking. And still to this day, like we just, every now, it's not like a constant thing, but if I'm around, I'd say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. What are you guys up to type of thing. And it's just like, how do you like the floors? Well, that's a good thing that I didn't let her pick that out online. Yeah. But again, it goes back to advertising is what we should be taking advantage of online as far as the business goes. But
the magic of like showing someone like this is what you need, like that's kind of hard to replicate in like a digital.
Oh, absolutely. And and just feel everything, and we were talking about the matte finish, the semi-gloss, all those things as well. Those don't show up on a computer screen, and they don't even look the same in your house as they do in the showroom. So you have to take home whatever anyone is doing, take home a damn sample. Take home a damn sample. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it's your mother-in-law's house and you don't like her, don't worry about it then. You don't have to take home the sample, but take home a sample if it's for your home. I'm telling you right now, like it's important because it's not going to look the same in our light as it would in your home.